Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and well, the American Lock 1100 series padlock. What an iconic lock. It's certainly one of my favourite locks ever to pick, genuinely. But as a beginner, an intermediate picker maybe, these can be quite tricky to pick for a number of reasons. They often have quite good bitting. They have some really nice security driver pins, really well made ones as well. So we have serrated spool pins and serrated pins on the driver's side, but also we've got overset trap key pins because they can be also serrated key pins. So if you overset them, they hang up in the keyway. They have quite strong springs, so they're like a sprung core, and that means that you've got to balance the tension really nicely to get that feedback on these pins. Once you get them, they are a wonderful lock to pick, but they can be tricky. And Sparrows knows this. So Sparrows have sent me to review and to keep this Sparrows 1100 trainer set. Now, this was sent to me by Sparrows Lockpicks, but it's not paid review or thoughts of my own. But for full disclosure, I have to say that I have worked with Sparrows on a number of different designs, and I hope to continue to do so. But anyway, those are the disclosures out of the way. What do you get in this set? Well, the thing I'm most excited to talk to you about, because I just love seeing iterations of this, is, do you recognise it yet? This is a monkey paw. You might be able to see that it's not a cup-shaped notch, it's more like a little ledge. The idea is that as you pull the pick back against the pins, it sort of goes up the curve of the pick onto the ledge and then stops at this little nub or tip of the pick. And that means that you can really feel when you're completely and directly underneath the pin before you start picking it. So you're not picking either side of the pin, you're picking directly the pin you mean to. And talking about picking directly the pin you mean to, can you see on here we have some etched, I think these are laser etched markings, 5 of them. Now these American locks are actually pinned to 5 pins as standard, although I do have a version which is pinned to 6, but that isn't the standard bitting that you would get when you go to a shop and buy one of these. But you can get variants which are obviously pinned to 6. So your standard 5 pin positions are marked on the pick itself, which is actually quite nice. So here is the first marking, and it appears to be quite close to the pick tip, and that's because the first pin is very close to the front of the keyway. So if I align that marking, probably can't see very well due to reflections, that first marking with the front of the plug like that and just lift up, you'll feel that you're already on that first pin. Same with the second pin, second marking, third marking, third pin, fourth marking, fourth pin, fifth marking, fifth pin. Now it depends on sort of how you pick. If you like to pick by pushing up on the pins, that can be a very accurate guide. If you like to lever from the bottom, then obviously just due to, I guess, trigonometry, these markings won't exactly align to the front of the lock because you'll be at a slight angle. So they are exactly accurate to a 90-degree push upwards. But if you do relax the pick down, then obviously these are more of a guide. But again, depending on your picking style, you sort of will adapt to where those markings are. So this is designed to help pickers in 2 ways. One, with the monkey paw, to grip onto the pin, so you're directly underneath it, you've got hold of that pin, you can pick it up, but also have these relative markings on here which align to the pin spacing inside the lock. So that's really cool. And another thing about this is the 20,000ths of an inch pick. The original monkey paw was 25,000ths of an inch, and you can pick these locks with one of those, but it's a lot easier with a 20,000ths of an inch pick because it's able to easily slide in and out of the keyway without rubbing against the warding in these non-paracentric locks. And it's a nice compromise. The 20,000ths of an inch monkey paw was a newer addition to the monkey paw range, and you can get one in 15,000ths, but then you compromise the strength of the pick and therefore the flexibility and therefore the feedback. So the 20 thousandths an inch is exactly right for this type of lock, allowing you to glide in and out without compromising too much strength in the pick by being too thin. So yeah, very cool. So that's the first thing, and it's so nice to see more and more iterations of the monkey paw coming out. Now also in this kit, and sorry about the crinkliness, this is quite a crinkly bag. If I can just get in here, we have a 1.2mm turning tool. So it's a relatively chunky one, and that's designed to go top of the keyway here. And you will notice it's the exact right depth, not to foul the first pin, and to get you some nice top of the keyway tension, allowing you to use that full open keyway to pick with. You also have, which I think is really cool, some spare pins. And in here are some standard driver pins. So these are quite easy to, let me grab a key and take one of these off. These are actually quite easy to take apart. Why did I choose the one which isn't fully locked up? Let me just lock that back up. There we go. These are quite easy to take apart. You just undo this, you take out that screw, a little, whole core will come out. Then you can take the circlip off the back, gut it using a standard sort of 10mm gutting kit, and repin it how you like. You'll see here that these are the serrated spools, and these are the serrated driver pins. But in here you also have standard driver pins as well. So you can obviously start by pinning the lock up to just standard pins if you like. Throw a couple of standards, maybe, so you've got 5 in here, so you could do an all standard 5-pin lock like that. You could then maybe go to adding a couple of serrated pins in there, or maybe a serrated spool. You can mix it up how you like, pin it to 3, 4, 5 pins. Or you can try and make it harder. Maybe you've got, you know, an American lock has mostly serrated spools, you want to mix in a few serrated pins, or vice versa, I don't know. Or just because it's nice to have spares. So I think that's really nice. It allows you to sort of customize your American locks. It also has, which I think is really nice if you're especially not used to gutting a lock, some spare springs. Goodness knows I've bent and broken many a spring by accidentally damaging them when I've been gutting locks. So not only do you have some nice driver pins here, you've got some spare springs thrown into the kit as well, which I think is really thoughtful. So let's do a demo. Let's just pick some of these lovely locks. And before I do, I want to show you some of the bittings. So these are the bittings for the 5-pin locks. I can't quite remember which way around. These are the 2 5-pin locks. Look at this one. Look at that with its super. This is a maximum adjacent cut. So you know, it's a medium high cut, then super high, super low, super high, medium. Then this one is sort of a slightly more relaxed one. You know, so it goes a low, high, low, low, high. And then this is a 6-pinner, and this is pretty much as good as it gets, really, isn't it? Because it goes low, high, low, high, low, high. Yeah. Very cool bitting. So let's throw you some advice, have a bit of a pick, and we'll talk about what I like, what I don't like, and all those other bits. So we are in the vise. Here is the very extreme bitting on that key. Going to pop our top of the keyway turning tool in like this. Get a nice sort of flush fit. That felt good. Go back in with the pick. Align with that first one at the back and just see what I can't feel. That was pin 5 there. That's 4. That was pin 2 there. Moving that core forwards again. That's pin 1, back to the back, 5, 4, nothing on 3, another click on 2, nothing on 1, okay, back to the back again, a little click on 5 there, hope I haven't overset anything, 4 now, that felt good, nothing on 3, 2, back into a bit of a false set. 1, nice click. Don't want to offset 1 though. Nothing on 5 now. On 4 feels fine. Nothing on 3. 2. Oh, so maybe I overset pin 1 just then. Or was that so I need to focus on a bit more? Probably okay. Back to the back still. 5. 4. 3. 2. Oh, and no, we've got the open. Here we go, here we go. Don't lose attention. Got him. We'll try his other 5 pinner now. Go in and on pin 5 at the back, double click. Nothing on 4, nothing on 3. We'll click on 2, double click on 1, back to the back. There you go, got that pin which is 5. Nothing on 4, nothing on 3, 2 feels fine. Just checking 1. If not, then we'll go right to the back again, check 5, 4, 3 now. Oh, that was something set there which was nice, but I don't know what exactly. Back to the back again, just to check pin 5 again. Bit of counter rotation. And oh, we got the open. Here we go, here we go. Got it. Last but not least, we have the big blue. Only called that because it's got 6 pins, which again isn't very common, but it does happen. And just because it doesn't have 5 markings here, on the very rare occasion you'd find a 6 pinner in the wild, then you would just work out where pin 5 is and then move forwards by the same degree of movement that will give you the spacing between the pins. So I'm going to start at 5 here like that, and I can feel 5, and then just move back 1 and let the tip of the monkey paw do the talking, so to speak. So that's 6, double click. Anything on 5 there? 4, 3, 2, 1, nothing happening there. So back to the back again, back to 6, nice clicks. Nice click on 5, couple of clicks on 4 there, little click on 3, 2 now, double click, little click on 1, let's go back to the back, nothing on 6, nothing on 5, nothing on 4, nothing on 3, 2, oh, and we're open. Got him, haha. So yeah. Very nice. So there you go, that's the Sparrows 1100 trainer set. And at this point in the video, I'd like to talk about things I like and maybe some things that I would think about improving. So, things I like. Definitely chose the right choice of monkey paw and monkey paw thickness for these locks. In fact, because I'm used to this ledge on the monkey paw, I tend to rely on that more than I do these markings, which has made it quite hard for me to review because I do like to mark off things like picks when I'm picking dimple locks, for example. That really helps, just to, especially multi-pin dimple locks, just to get the spacings right. So I do mark picks off, but it's good to move on from trying to think about whether you're under a pin using markings on the pick and onto just feel alone. And certainly the monkey paw helps with that. Now, these markings, I do like the idea of marking off your picks. I forget that when you're first starting, part of the difficulty is figuring out where you are in the lock. Sometimes are you too deep, are you too far? And these markings, even if you use them as a relative marking, is so helpful and go, oh, I thought I was on pin 2, I'm clearly on pin 4. And you may laugh, but that happens a lot when you're starting out. So yeah, these markings do really work in terms of orienting your pick underneath the pin. So exactly on pin 1 there, and the marking is perfect for pin 1, 2, 3. So the markings really do work. And yeah, so I think the combination of markings, 20 thousandths thickness, and the monkey paw tip really will help you pick maybe your first 1100 series lock, or allow you to better pick some of the ones which you picked before and found difficult. It's also nice to have some spare pins and some springs to add different pins to your American locks, or maybe put some standard pins in just to make it a little bit easier. That would be very handy. And it's always good to have a nice turning tool like this. So does that mean this is a perfect setup? I have no criticisms. No, there are a couple of changes that I'd probably like to make. One of them isn't to add an extra marking here for the possible 6-pin locks. I don't think you need it. The majority are 5 pins, and the extra marking might confuse people in terms of like I'm trying to understand which pin they're on. So probably I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change the thickness or anything like that. What I would probably think about is just adding one small change to the turning tool, which is this is 1.2 millimeters in thickness. 1.3 is through experience perfect for these locks. Now 1.2 perfectly usable. That's probably the thing I used to use the most, but having tried a 1.3 millimeter top of the keyway turner, it just goes in a lot tighter and has less wiggle, so you're less likely to ping the turning tool out if you get a bit aggressive picking pin number one, for example. So that would be a really nice improvement, just to have the turning tool in 1.3. Is 1.2 fine? Absolutely, it's very standard across a lot of turning tool ranges from lots of different manufacturers, but that doesn't mean that 1.3 would be ever so slightly better. So other than that, yeah, I think it's a really nice little set with the pins, the springs, the turning tool, and the pick to pick your 1100 series locks. As for how long these extra markings would last, obviously you can see a little bit of scuffing on here because, you know, as you use a pick, it will rub against various bits of the inside of the lock, and over time, you know, it could be that these extra markings fade. They haven't so far, but you can see some scratches appearing. They probably last you quite some time. But then, hey, maybe if they do eventually wear off, you'll have to start relying on feel rather than looks. So there is that. But no, I don't know entirely if these will last for a very long time or a short amount of time. But they seem to be holding up okay. Now, I am a bit concerned about our left-handed friends who might be picking like this and therefore like the markings on this side. So maybe it'd be great if Sparrows added the markings to not just the left-hand side, but also the right-hand side of the pick, or did a variant for left-handed pickers. Let me know in the comments if you think that is also a good idea. So, what does this set cost you? Now, this was on, I looked at the pricing on the Sparrows Lockpicks Canadian website, so that was 19 Canadian dollars. And this is obviously at the time of filming, prices change, exchange rates change, there's no shipping or import fees that I've included to this, so it's just a base price on the website. That would be equivalent to around $13 US and 47 cents, or £10.52 UK pounds, or 12 euros and 31 cents. So that's how much that little set would cost you in its little bag. So like I said, let me know what you think to this in the comments below. Would you have one? Would it be useful? Do you find the American locks tricky to pick? Are they also one of your favourite locks to pick like mine? Let me know in the comments below. I do read them all and reply to as many as I can. If you like this video, hit that like. If you want to see more content like this, maybe consider subscribing if you think I deserve it, and hitting that notification bell. It really helps my channel out, and I'd very much appreciate it. Otherwise, stay safe, happy picking, and I will see you all next time.